right now, 0-8. The record for the 5 best records in Major League Baseball during the regular season. You can't make this up. The teams with the 5 best records during a 162-game Major League Baseball season, the Braves, the Orioles, the Dodgers, the Rays, and the Brewers are now 1-8. And it would be 0-9 if the Braves game went slightly different.
That's what's it.
So
yeah,
here's the question, and I saw our buddy Bo, who's one of the great editors here at Fox, we were talking about how baseball's a game of rhythm, and baseball's a game...
The rhythm.
Baseball's a game of reps and getting in a zone, and baseball is 162 games. You might have a Thursday or a Monday off. It's a consistent 6-month grind. It's all about being in the zone and not getting cold and being fresh. A week off in baseball doesn't seem like a reward at all. The last 2 years, since they added the, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, since they added the extra wild card, remember it was 2 wild cards played 1 game. Let's just do a little recent baseball history because some may forget. There's 3 divisions in each league. Let's just take the National League. It used to be, think about it, when we were kids, it was East and West. East winner plays the West winner. Winner goes to the World Series. It was 2 teams. There was no wild card. There wasn't even a Central.
No room for people to get cold and sit around.
It was 162 games, which resulted in 4 teams making the postseason. Then they said, well, hold on. After the strike, let's realign. That's just, you can't get fans to care for 162 games of only 4 teams making it.
Exactly.
So then I thought, oh, great, okay. East, Central, West, and a wild card team. Perfect. 1 team that may win 90-something games that happens to be in second place. That makes sense. Playoff start, number 1 seed plays the wild card, 2 and 3 play. Then it was,
which, by the way, looking back, I don't know, may have been the best.
Yeah, honestly, 1 wild card plays the best, right? So that's 4.
But then again, the same problem arose. You're like, well, we still need more fans engaged,
and it made sense too. So let's add a 5th wild card, and then it was all 3 division winners are in. The 2 wild cards play 1 game, and that winner becomes the 4 seed. That still was like, all right, 1 game, then the playoffs start. A couple years ago, and I'll be honest, I can't backtrack, I can't talk out of both sides of my mouth. I was the first person to say, dude, 6 teams, awesome, because even if your team has an 85 to 90 win season, hey, getting into the playoffs keeps things really interesting, because there's a lot of teams that are on pace for 80 to 90 wins, and previously...
Well, you start thinking, too, of all the 80, 90 game teams that never made it to the playoffs from your childhood.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, man, that team would have made it to the playoffs. Who knows what could have happened?
Yeah, so I liked it at first, but now you're realizing with the 3-game wild card set and the 1 and 2 seeds getting a bye, which means the worst division winner and 3 other teams have a week of baseball. During that week of baseball, the Dodgers, the Braves, the Orioles, the Astros, all these great teams sat on their booties doing nothing for a week.
And they get cold.
And you realize last year and this year, we only have a 2-year sample size, but it's very apparent, Ramos, you and I were talking about this, it's very apparent that it doesn't seem to be an advantage at all to get that week off.
I think it's an advantage when you have injuries. Like in football, right? It's an advantage to have, we got a bye week. We can get some of those guys injured. In baseball, how many guys are coming back next week? Walker Buehler's not coming back next week. He's got Tommy John surgery.
Yeah,
Dustin May's not coming back next. He doesn't need a week off.
And it's hard to pick up where you left off
Ramos,
if you're not consistent. It's like it's those unspoken things about baseball where all of a sudden you're seeing the ball like a beach ball and you're hitting everything coming at you. You take a week off, you might not be seeing the ball the same way you were a week ago, and there's no explanation as to why.
The analogy is simple, and Ramos just nailed a big part of it. Home run, Ramos, or touchdown, depending on how you want to look at it. In football,
slam dunk, Ramos.
In football, your wide receiver might have a slightly sprained knee, where a bye week could mean all the difference. What what's a week in baseball? Like, oh, a guy might have a blister on his finger. Like, it's never going to be the difference maker. So a week off in baseball is not a reward. A week off in football is a reward. And when you think about even rotations, look at the All-Star break.
Right. If a baseball team has momentum
Into the All-Star break, what happens?
To continue playing with that momentum.
What happens?
Not sit around.
I wonder if they did advanced research. You know, that guy. Who's that guy at the Sports Bureau? Your buddy?
Elias.
Yeah, Elias.
Elias. Yeah, it's my guy.
I wonder if the Elias Sports Bureau ever did a little study on teams that were hot going into the All-Star break and how they performed maybe the 10 games after, because baseball is a game of momentum and rhythm and like, yeah, the team's clicking. Like you said, if I could see it playing stupid Sunday softball where, if I'm playing, a couple days a week, couple weeks in a row, I'm doing great. I go on vacation with my wife. I come back like 0 for 3. Like you can get cold in rec sports. Imagine being a professional baseball player. You played 162 games. You guys won 100 games. You did the grind. And now they're saying, sit for a week.
And it's showing this postseason, hence the baseball whoopsie daisy, oopsie doodle, whatever we're going with.
Give me the solution.
So what happens is...
Solution.
Well, hold on. Let me explain even further, one step further. If the best teams in baseball from the biggest markets aren't advancing, baseball's not getting the ratings they were hoping for as the season goes on. And they're going to be forced to make adjustments if this is more than coincidence. Because the best teams, the 5 best teams with the best records in the regular season,
only one win.
Only won
the Braves.
One game.
So, give me the answer to that. What's your thought? What's the solution? Because we can't just biatch about a problem. Because I don't know. You know how some things are not reversible? How do you reverse this? You're not going to be like, well, we're going back to 5 playoff teams because now we've already opened the floodgate. You're not going to be like, hey, baseball, I know revenue and all the things we've thought about and the Players Association, the union. We're not going to take away a wild card team. It's not going to happen. So how do you fix that? You can't say, well, the 3 seed, which is a division winner, you can't say, well, you got to play a 1-game wild card. That's not fair to that division winner. What is the answer?
Danny G, anything come to mind? Dan Byer? Because if I had the answer, I'd be the commissioner of baseball.
The Dodgers told me that their simulated game was going to fix all of this.
And that's why they did that, which was unconventional, but they said, we want to stay fresh. I just don't know if there's a solution.
Yeah, nothing gets you in the zone like an actual game, so...
But it's not a complete layoff, like Rich's example about going out of town on vacation.
Yeah.
You're at least playing in a simulated game. You're active.
So then are we saying, hey, we're just prisoners of the moment, like you always say, Danny G, and this is just coincidence,
maybe Dan, maybe after 20 years of data, it'll show different. Maybe we have a sample size that's small, so it looks like the bad teams.
That's what I'm getting at,
yeah. I think that there's something to it. I also think that there is something to the Braves and Dodgers not playing meaningless baseball down the stretch, but there weren't tight games. I mean, you look in the National League, the Diamondbacks, Reds, Marlins, they're all battling at that point. They're kind of in playoff mode, so not only do the Dodgers and Braves and the other teams with the byes have a week off, they likely haven't been playing meaningful baseball for the second half of September. So now you ask to turn it on 3 weeks later.
Braves won that, and the Phillies won 90 games, but the Braves still won that division by 14 games.
Yeah.
So they were in cruise control since August or so.
And by the way, the one team that is playing well is the Astros, who, by the way, battled the Texas Rangers to the last day for the division championship.
So, man, I don't know how, again...
So it does show momentum is such a key part of this.
If I had the answers, you're right. Maybe we'd be advisors to Rob Manfred. But as of
that's what I'm saying. You're asking me.
I'm like, Davison, it's Rob Manfred.
That's why people there get paid the big bucks to figure that out.
Hold on one second.
Just a piece of metal, Rich.
Roberto, what's going on, my man, Fred? Yo, Danny G and Ramos were all talking. Got the answers. Yo, Covino, here's Rob. I mean, it's not. We had the answers. But hey. Enjoy your baseball playoffs. I just wonder, could there be a solution? If you have one, I said, is there a solution? If all the best baseball teams are 1-8, and it seems like the 2-year experiment of the 6 playoffs teams in each division, I'm sorry, if the 6 AL teams and 6 NL teams, it doesn't seem like it's necessarily working. what is the solution? Let's go to Willie in Seattle. We're going to go rapid fire because we got to get to this game. But real quick, Willie, what's your solution?
Thanks for taking my call. Add 2 more teams, 8 teams, and then just have everybody play everybody. 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7, on down the line. Maybe 5-game series for the first 2 series.
Or maybe even, you know what? Maybe even
It's too many teams.
Maybe even make the 1 seed play in the first round, but they get home field throughout the whole thing. There's an answer. Let's go to Jack in Ohio. Jack.
Hey, Jack.
Hey, I got you. Let's do it real easy. Wild card team, doubleheader at the home site, and then the next day a night game, and then they play the division leaders the next day. They'll be too tired to win.
So the wild cards will get in, but they'd have to play out of their mind to compete. I like that too.
Cool.
Doubleheader and a night game the next day. That's badass. But listen to what I said also. I was, taken from all of you guys, but the idea of why are we so quick to be like, oh, a bye for the 1 and 2 seed? If it's not doing them a favor, have the 1 play the 6, and it's a best of 5 all in the 1 location. Like if the Dodgers were to play a wild card, all 5 games in Dodger Stadium.
Oh, so that's your advantage. I like that.
Like all 5 games. Like all 5 games at Dodger Stadium, but the 1 and 2 seeds have to play in the first round. All right, Rich in Texas.
Hey, guys. My solution is I like adding the 2 extra teams, but reduce the regular season by 12 games so the playoffs are done in October. I'm tired of late November, early November World Series.
Agreed. It goes on too long. The only problem is if we all make the logical thought, like, why don't we make it 120 or 40 games? Baseball's like revenue, no way. Mason, wrap it up in Minnesota.
Hey, guys, thanks for taking my call. Not so much a solution, but just talking about your stats as far as the 162-game season and teams that are on a roll.
Yeah.
Look at the stats of all the teams in the playoffs. What was their September record? Who was on a roll and who was kind of sluggish? Then what does it look like? Are the same teams like the Diamondbacks? They're hot, but the Braves and Dodgers, I don't think their September was quite as hot.
Yeah, you're right. It's a very interesting way.